but it comes with so many caveats.
Yeah.
And that's up to the employer, the HR, and again, similar to the compliance piece we talked about earlier. If you don't understand it, if you haven't got it worked out, you're going to say no.
So something big for me, because obviously I value being online, using your online presence to help with your sales ability, rather than just cold call and go in blind. I personally believe you have to have a presence about yourself. And one thing I notice is candidates value their Facebooks and their Instagrams, and everyone's got followers and they're looking for likes and comments. No one's really necessarily doing this on the business platforms to help their career. So I guess the question to you is, do you think salespeople need to develop themselves now to have an online presence to be able to maintain their goals and their achievements?
Yeah, very much. But it's a very difficult one to navigate. If you want to reference FX Plu. But no, because, would I be comfortable with a junior member of staff coming in and effectively representing my brand with the experimentation that we had in the early days, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's a cliche to say, but if you're not embarrassed with what you took to market, you launched too late. And if you go back in the archives, FX Blue was dreadful. But where you've got somebody's brand sat behind, your employer,
yeah,
how you represent that is a minefield. So on one hand, yes, I absolutely support the idea of a better, stronger LinkedIn presence, but it comes with so many caveats.
Yeah.
And that's up to the employer, the HR, and again, similar to the compliance piece we talked about earlier. If you don't understand it, if you haven't got it worked out, you're going to say no. But I think there is land grab opportunity there in the market of becoming well known for this, that, the other, whatever. Again, FX Blue is just doing that market brief every day. Every day. No, best part of my day. I love it. And there are many out there that also do video market briefs, and strengths and weaknesses of all of them.
Yeah.
But it's about finding your niche, and in order to really, I think, break out and start building a brand for yourself, you need to have the support of your employer. And so typically it's more likely to come from a marketing department. And then from the sales side, it's like, well, what do they actually know about sales?
Yeah.
And you've got that, marketing, sales compliance, they're always butting
I've always
heads.
found that they manage things separately in most companies, and I find that baffling because all your sales guys are your marketing guys. Every single one of them could be on social media presenting your products, your services, as well as calling people up and doing all of that. And for some reason, many people haven't quite grasped that you use all channels.
Well, so there's an interesting point, right? When you get somebody into your business, the first thing you do is train them. So the sales pitch, whether it starts with a script or just your general brand values of how we communicate our service to the market. So there are rules applied to the training.
Yeah.
That same model would need to be applied to social media, right? So I'm lucky enough to be involved in the creator program with LinkedIn, and as a result, we have like meetings with other creators, and it's fascinating seeing, the restrictions that JP Morgan, for example, Goldman Sachs put on their employees. Effectively, it's a blanket ban. You are not allowed to talk about anything to do with our bank, the market, or the service that any of our departments offer. Because, again, there are regulations. It may be financial advice, it may be deemed as this, that, and the other, and there may be big fines that are the...
So I suppose in our industry, it can be risky to have your staff online as well.
But however, where, again, a couple of wonderful influencers that I was blessed with an audience with, where they're navigating it and building their own personal brand is through objective, useful content. Just give. Whatever, advertise. That's ultimately what the social media should be. If I closed off every FX Plu with either the influencer, don't forget to like, comment and share, or subscribe or whatever, like everybody would thumbs down, see you later. And similarly, if it was trying to crowbar a sales pitch in, so if you're looking to buy a house overseas, then don't forget to phone me. It's like, okay, yeah, just stick to the market chatter and Boris bashing. That's what I tuned in for. And so, but at the same time, if you get the focus right, and I'm not saying that I have by any stretch of the imagination, but if you get the focus right, the content that you put out, by extension, is always associated with the brand that you're working for.
Yeah.
And again, funnily enough, that is actually a challenge that our head of marketing is struggling with right now. We've got FX Blue and we've got Currency Transfer, and soon we're going to have Plexus.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, yeah, we've got 3 different brands there almost, and only one of them is fun.
Have you seen quite a lot of new clients coming your way off the back of the FX Blue, your videos that you do?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm going to say, yeah, loads, but the truth is no. Because
but
again,
it's brand awareness.
Exactly, and I never did it for client acquisition. There shouldn't be a binary relationship in your mind when you're curating it and when you're putting it out there that, oh, I'm doing this because I want that.
Yeah.
You're doing that because that's the project.
Yeah.
What comes from that is wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time that we had an application of where did you hear about us, this donut on an air wheel. It's like, oh, yeah, that's me. But does that happen very often? Certainly not. But where I'm assured and Pat said, no, you do you, charge the air wheel and off you go, keep going, is from the unknown.
Yeah.
You know, the expectation that you can't be doing that all the time and not have client flow being affected by it. Yeah. Even if it's just a case of subliminally. Oh yeah, go on. And then you see it somewhere else because of the SEO that we're very good at.
Yeah.
It's just, oh yeah, fine. And then
I don't think anyone's going to be able to duplicate what you do. You were the first one out there.
Set a high bar, right?
Well, you massively. But I have a question.
I mean, it's hard enough talking to camera, but do it on a unicycle.
Though. What do you read of? Like, what? How is this?
Literally, I've got a selfie stick.
Oh, you do?
That's all memory. That's all just prepared.
No, not memory. A selfie stick with the phone on it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so you got it all in front of you.
No, so the video's in front of me. I'm just like scooting around.
I remember
that's
having,
a really good question.
Yeah, but I remember having discussions in the office about it, and we were like, where is he reading this from, or is it just off the top?
Yeah, like, are you just that good at presenting?
I do have notes. Like, so in my morning routine, like, 5 a.m. shout out, if that's worth anything. 5:50, my alarm goes off. 6 o'clock, I've got a coffee, and I'm putting the notes together. By sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock, hair and makeup. Well, hair anyway, and then Bertie gets his walk. We go out. Jump
have you had any like bloopers where people have stopped you and asked you what you're doing, or run into you, or anything?
Yeah. So there's a blooper reel pinned on my LinkedIn, and one of my favourites is this grumpy old man in lockdown, and I was just like chatting away, and then like noticed him sort of behind a tree, and he goes, "Are you filming?" And it's like, well,
why
I was.
are you behind a tree?
Until you ruined it, yeah.
And like we stopped filming that. It's a real shame because the rest of the conversation was gold, because he was like, well, I don't want to be on your film. I was like, well, you're on a public footpath. This isn't illegal. And, and it's like, well, have you got to hide anyway?
Why are you behind a tree?
And he
wasn't in a hood or anything like that.
No, he's just like some grumpy old man like back in. And funny enough, like he became my nemesis for about 2 or 3 weeks. And I sat and I thought about it, and the next time I saw him, I scooted over and said, I apologise, I was a bigger man. Like now we're best friends. Oh, morning, yeah, how are you doing? But yeah.
Get him on the film next time now.
Rocky old start, yeah.
Well, look, thanks very much for coming in, Paul. It's been a pleasure having you, and thanks for coming to speak to us.
My pleasure.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me in.